What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another episode of Keeping Up with KP. I have gotten some requests for more of a vlog style episode, so I'm going to show you how I put my meals together for the next day. I am currently on my second consecutive high day. We are practice peaking me right now, so I am getting my fourth meal together. It is about 6:30 p.m. I have 2 meals left this evening, but every night around this time I put my meals together for the next day. I do not meal prep like a week in advance because I eat 5 meals a day, and between my husband and myself there would be like a million Tupperwares in our fridge. So how we meal prep is because we eat a good amount of the same foods. Like we both eat chicken, we both eat rice. Sometimes he's kind of on a sweet potato kick right now, so really I've just been doing rice in my mini rice cooker and like doing it in bulk, but pulling from it for the next day depending, because right now where I'm at 2 weeks out tomorrow, my food is kind of changing on a daily basis. Like I have my training day diet, I have my rest day diet, and then I have my high day diets. So that's another reason why I don't prepare food too far in advance, because I am currently doing daily check-ins and things change. But I do know that coming off of this high day, I have a rest day tomorrow, so my food is going from very high back to my baseline low day. I can basically get my meals together for tomorrow very quickly, like in 10 minutes. So we're gonna do that together. So there are a million ways to get to stage. So you need to find your coach, find your approach. But what works for me is I follow a meal plan. I do not do macros. Meal plan works for me. I have always done a carb cycle. So I have my training day, I have my rest day, and the foods remain the same. The amounts just change. In this entire prep, we have been implementing new strategies. So we've been doing consecutive high days where my food is higher than my base training day food. This has worked really well for me and my body. It's kept my metabolism engaged. It's kept my energy up throughout this prep. I've had very few days where I'm hungry because when I'm coming off this high day, like today is a very high day, and I have an entire YouTube on how much food I'm eating in this day, so make sure to watch that one. But coming off this high day, I'm not going to be super hungry tomorrow. It's also really nice for me and my digestive system to have a low day to kind of like level out. This also gives my body time to process and assimilate the nutrients, the added glycogen that's in my muscles. We are doing this practice peak right now because I came in too hard at my last show. This is my second consecutive high day. Yesterday was rest, so food was high. Today was a training day, so my food was even higher. And because we're doing daily check-ins, we're really keeping an eye on my core control, and how I'm able to control the food day after. If you're following my core control journey, I have been doing vacuums in the morning, in the evenings, and with these high days, I have been doing 3 rounds in between meals as well. This has changed the game for my digestive system. This has changed the game for my core control. I encourage you, if you haven't already, to watch my core control saga. But in this episode, I'm just gonna quickly show you how I put my meals together for the next day. So let's get into it. Before that, I actually need to take a pause to do my vacuums and eat my meal. So we will do that really quick, okay? I'm doing 3 rounds of 20-second holds. Not gonna lie, it is not easy to control this core with this much food in here. But for this meal, I have 210 grams of white jasmine rice, I have 65 grams of chicken breast, and 35 grams of French cut green beans. I also get 20 grams of almond butter. Here we have it. Almond butter on chicken and on rice. It's just top tier, you guys. Meal 4 is in, and again, this is just the time of day for us where we're setting ourselves up for tomorrow, and we cook the bulk of our food when we can. So Ryan's got some ground turkey cooking on the stove. We've got some chicken in the air fryer. We don't have like a designated meal prep day or a designated grocery day. We just cook our food and get our groceries when we run out. Which as bodybuilders happens frequently. I would say we go to the grocery store like 2 times a week. But this low day is like the simplest day for me to meal prep because essentially all my meals are pretty much the same. So again, I follow a meal plan. My meals are super simple, repeatable. It works for me. It works the best for my body. This is how I eat in season and off season. I don't know if anybody is this way, but I have like specific containers I like for specific meals and specific bowls with specific silverware. I just get very specific. So how I like to do this, I have 4 meals that are going in these Tupperwares. 3 of them are going to be with chicken. So I've got my food scale, and how I like to do this is I will first weigh out the protein for all of my meals. All of these meals are going to be 85 grams of chicken. Also, how I like my chicken is I tear it into little bite-sized pieces like so. All right, I've got my 3 meals, 85 grams of chicken. My last meal of the day, every day, as of right now, is a 96% beef. I get 120 grams and I actually only have 75, so we are gonna need to go to the grocery store tomorrow. So I eat 5 meals a day. These will be my last 4, and my first meal will be egg whites with 2 whole eggs. Next, I get 70 grams of rice with all 4 of these. This makes it super easy to prepare and to remember. Leftover rice and chicken both go in the fridge. And then lastly, I get 85 grams of vegetable with all of these. Sometimes I switch it up and I'll do zucchini in some, French cut green beans in the other, and then sometimes I like the whole, long French green beans too, but for the sake of consistency, I'm just doing French cut for all of them. So if you are new here, I am always very conscious of my digestion, and for this entire prep, I have implemented what I call a gut reset, which is essentially peak week protocol. So if you're not a competitor, during peak week, typically you'll pull out carbonation, sauces, spices, stevia, protein powder, anything that's gonna add any bloat or added variables that are going to mess with your digestion. Since the start of this prep, it's been very important that my digestion is on point. I didn't want to mess around with the added stressors and frustration when it came to bloating and digestive woes. In previous preps, and I'll probably do an entire episode on this at some point, so if this interests you, comment below, but I would do a lot of bloaty things to improve the taste, texture of my foods. Basically to make prep and the foods more enjoyable, but it would come with a cost, right? This prep, it felt more important to have linear progress and positive check-ins and feedback rather than getting pleasure and excitement out of my food and meals. Because in previous preps, I would try to make my food more fun by putting my 70 grams of rice in a mini waffle maker with a ton of stevia or sweet leaf drops to, taste better and be more exciting. I would also do the Hulk pancake. I would do sugar-free syrups. I would do a ton of mustard, sugar-free sauces, sugar-free ketchup. I would have carbonated energy drinks, carbonated diet sodas. There was just a lot of added variables in previous preps that would make the process more frustrating, and I didn't want to do that this time. And so I didn't. From start to finish, I have used 0 sauces, spices, added stevia. The first couple of months I did limit to 1 Fresca a day. That was my treat. For the most part, this prep, my meals have been bare bones. And in doing this, my digestion has been so much better. I have had 0 cravings. My progress and my weekly check-ins have been linear. And we've also been able to implement these advanced strategies like consecutive high days. We've done 1 high day, 2 high days, 3 high days. And my digestion has been on point. We're able to use this strategy for what it is, to see how the food fills out the body. Because what a lot of people do is they run these refeeds, they get an influx of calories, and if it fits in your macros or meals off plan, you're not just adding more carbs, fats, and proteins, you're adding a bunch of other junk that is going to drive inflammation, water retention, cause gas, bloating, all of the things. And so I didn't wait until peak week to clean up my inputs. This has been my diet the entirety of this prep, which is why my body has been so responsive, and it's made for a better experience for me, both physically and mentally as well. Because honestly, I'm not using my food and meals for pleasure and fun and trying to come up with all of these concoctions with spices and sauces and this and that. I've been there, I've done that. I don't have the desire, I don't have the time And so this is how I do it, and that is why. I will say you need to decide what kind of experience you want to have as an athlete, because again, I've had it every way. I've done macros, I've done meal plan, I've done the recipes, I've done the fun food stuff. Honestly, it made the process less fun and more frustrating because there were so many variables other than the food in my diet. But if it's more important for you, for where you're at in the journey, to have variety and flexibility in your diet and make your recipes and live your life, then by all means, do what works for you. This is just what works for me with where I'm at in the journey. With 2 of these chicken meals, I get 12 grams of almond butter. With the beef and the other chicken, I do not. I am in office for a little bit tomorrow, so I'll take the chicken meal without the almond butter with me. I will have my first meal at home, which is gonna be my egg whites, my 2 whole eggs. I get oats with that meal, as well as blueberry, strawberry, and banana. So what I like to do, because this will be my first meal of the day when I wake up tomorrow, I will have check-in, I will have fasted cardio, I will have meal, and then I will have to go to the office. So I try to prep as many things as I can to make my life easier. And so I'm gonna go ahead and portion out my 50 grams of both my strawberries and my blueberries. My banana, if you don't know this about me, I like my banana cold. And so I keep that in the fridge like this, and I will cut this up in the morning tomorrow. But my first meal, the rest of it, I will just put it together in real time. So aside from meal number 1, adding the 12 grams of almond butter to those 2 chicken meals and adding an 1/8 teaspoon of salt to all of my meals, this is what I will be eating, and this is how I set myself up for the next day. So again, I am 2 weeks out tomorrow. Tomorrow's a rest day. Tomorrow's a low day. Today is a high day. I've got 1 more meal to get in tonight, but before that, I've got 6 more rounds of vacuums bent over, 3 standing up, posing, shower, eat, bed. So if you guys like this episode, make sure to like this episode. Let me know what other kind of vlog style episodes you want to see. Again, I had some requests for that. I hope this was helpful. I hope you were able to take away some tips, some of my insights. I can't wait to hear what you guys think, but that is all I've got for you today, and I will see you in the next one.